impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Destination Fantasy Podcast. We are live here, Super Bowl Sunday. I know I'm pumped. I know my guests are pumped. I know my co-host is pumped. I mean, we've been waiting we've been waiting 2 weeks. It's been a 2-week hiatus since we've been on, but we're back in the fold here today with my brother, Deshaun. And then also we have our first special guest of the appearance of the Destination Fantasy Podcast history, got our boy, Alex.
What's going on? Appreciate y'all.
Hey, no problem. How you doing? Reed? How you doing, Alex?
Oh man, like I'm doing good. Like you said, it's dude, this is it. This is like the big dance, and I'm excited to see it. I think we got like a really, really good Super Bowl today. So I'm excited for like both sides of it. It's like a lot of legacies involved right here, man. So this one is for all the marbles.
For sure. It definitely is. It's gonna be a good one in my opinion. We'll see though.
Definitely. So for those of you that don't know, so Alex is in our main league. The main league, that's the one we've been talking about primarily the whole year. That's the 2-quarterback league that me and Deshaun, gave you a rundown through each and every week how we were doing. And out the 5 leagues that I was in, I won 3 of them. I was in the championship in 4. That one that I lost came to that man right there. So we can dive into that in a few. But yeah, let's hit on some other stuff first. So news and injuries. So really quick, last night the Hall of Fame inductees was announced, which includes Alan Faneca, that's your boy from the Steelers, man. Tom Flores, Calvin Johnson, also known as Megatron, John Lynch, Peyton Manning, Bill Nunn, Drew Pearson, and Charles Woodson. What are you all's thoughts on this 2021 class?
Man, I see you grab the Steeler gear down from the you're gonna lead it up.
Look, man, like I'm super excited, especially, for Alan Faneca. Offensive linemen, they really don't get their due in like the NFL, like unsung guys. And he won like a Super Bowl with like the Steelers. I think it was in Super Bowl XL when they went against like Seattle. So like he had a lot to do with the Steelers' success during like that huge period in which they were like super relevant. So I'm glad that I can, see one of my guys go ahead and get enshrined in Canton. Like, so it's a very good feeling. Jamar, we touched base on it like a little bit like before. You know what I mean? We talked about Calvin Johnson, we talked about Peyton Manning, we talked about Charles Woodson, and like guys like that we knew that we're going to be like locked. So I just think it's like a good thing for us to see a NFL player come into the league and we can like watch their career pan out the way that it did. And we all knew about Peyton Manning, one of the greatest minds in football. Calvin Johnson, is just seeing his career unfold the way that it did, him being such a huge impact from like the wide receiver position. Man, I cannot be happier for a Canton or deserved like guy like that. So tip your hat to like, all of those guys, to everyone up on like this ballot. But definitely, I think those 3 to 4 guys definitely hold like a place in my heart because I had a chance to watch them.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy to start seeing some of the players that like I vividly remember like growing up watching coming to the Hall. But yeah, it's star-studded for sure. It kind of makes me think a little bit about the voting process, though. Just in terms, Calvin Johnson, to me, in my opinion, is the first ballot. But looking at like the things that T.O. went through and stuff like that, it kind of makes me think about that just a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely star-studded. It's definitely a great class for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember Calvin Johnson being drafted. I remember him coming out of what was that, Wake Forest, I believe, or Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech,
yeah. It was a similar second overall pick. Lions' third straight year drafting a wide receiver in the first round. Yeah, I guess third time's a charm apparently with that one. But no, he was definitely a class act in that organization, which is abysmal. Only one playoff win in the last 60 years or so. But nevertheless, no, he had a great career. Charles Woodson, I remember him, when I was growing up, just being just top-notch elite corner, coming in the league, making noise from day one with the Raiders, getting to the Super Bowl, even though they got stomped. But he finally got one with that dreaded Green Bay team. I'm not going to get into that much, but either way. And then, of course, Peyton Manning. Apparently, like, all three of these guys, just for me, they all got, like, little like chinks in my armor as far as the Bears fans. I'm not going to get into them, but nevertheless, congrats to all those guys that made it.
For sure.
All right. And then before we start getting into some other fun here, so recently, former 2 number 1 overall pick quarterbacks got traded for each other in the off season. That Deshaun, the last time we was on, we talked about possible quarterback moves, and apparently dominoes starting to fall here. We hear Carson Wentz probably going to get traded here in the next few days. But yeah, Stafford got traded to the Rams for Jared Goff, this year's 3rd rounder, and then 2 future 1st round picks. Quickly, what are you all's thoughts on this trade, and then from a fantasy aspect?
Jamar, like, to be completely honest, like, I think it's a plus for Stafford. Like, I really do. I think he gets a upgrade from just a whole, just like culture. I like what the Rams are doing going forward. They got like a bunch of young guys. They got a young head coach who obviously wasn't heavily favored by Goff. Like, I think they had like their little back and forth or whatever, but Stafford with that team, I think they can actually do some damage. And I think that this moves Stafford up a notch or 2 maybe on like draft boards, just because of the personnel he have on that team. We know what Cam Akers can do. We know what those wide receivers can do. Like, that defense is solid, and with that, you got to give a nod to the defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. We know what Jalen Ramsey can do on that team. So it's definitely an upgrade for Stafford. But I mean, what does that mean for Goff? Like, him going to Detroit, a lot of players, Jamar and Alex, have wasted their careers on this Detroit Lions football team. So I'm not sure exactly what that's going to mean for him. I know he gets the wide receiver Kenny Galladay back next year. Maybe they can do some damage there. They got DeAndre Swift, so I'm not just going to say it's going to be a full-on bust just yet. They do got a lot of young complementary players up on that team. So, but definitely, in my opinion, Stafford definitely got the better end of the deal.
Gotcha. Alex, right before you go, we about to introduce your brother. What's going on? What's going on, Piggy?
Yo, can you see me? Oh, yeah, you can see me. Hey, what up?
What's going on?
All right, so
that's my brother.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just go ahead and give him an introduction. We see the Tampa Bay gear that he got on right now. His team is going to the Super Bowl today. It's my younger brother, Ray John Reed. He's over there flexing his muscles. So when we mention the name Piggy throughout the duration of this podcast, that's exactly what we're talking about. I think I've only called him Ray John maybe 10 times in his like whole life. So I'm just gonna refer to him as Piggy.
All right. Fair enough. So yeah, we're in the middle of talking about the Stafford or Goff trade. Alex, what's your take on it so far?
Yeah, I'm with you to kind of piggyback off of what you said. I see a lot of upside in it for Stafford, just going into a situation where it's a little more certainty. So whereas with the Lions, there's always a lot of uncertainty just as far as where, what type of weapons they're going to have, just the type of schemes that they're going to bring. So I just see most of the upside being with Stafford, him being a veteran going into that system. I do see that. I mean, he's going to a tougher division, in my opinion, just in terms of trajectory. But I do feel like there's a larger upside for Stafford. He's always been a slinger. He's always been able to get a high volume number. I feel like he'll be able to sustain that going to the Rams more than Goff will be.
Gotcha. Piggy, got any thoughts on this trade?
Actually, bro, it was crazy though, man. Because when I looked at when they gave him the picks, I'm like, hey man, what is they doing? But you got to think about it. The Rams is in a win now mode, so establish, getting Stafford. I think that's a good move for him if he can stay healthy. Stafford got injury problems, so if Stafford can stay healthy, they got to possibly make it into the AFC Championship or possibly even the Super Bowl.
Man, that's bold. That's bold right there.
I mean, I feel you though, because my take on it is this is similar to Stephon Diggs, in my opinion, going to Buffalo, unlocking Josh Allen in that offense. I feel like Stafford has the chance to do the same with the Rams, because apparently the Rams have everything in place except for the quarterback that can take that team to the next level, just like you saw Patrick Mahomes take Kansas City to the new level. I mean, Alex Smith was there with the same weapons. Apparently, they plateaued, hit a ceiling. You get somebody like Patrick Mahomes with more ability at the spot that, extended that offense to new heights. And here we are now, they're in their second straight Super Bowl. I feel like Stafford has a chance to do the same because he has the deep ball, he has the deep ball accuracy, he has the toughness. He's basically the quarterback that Sean McVay always wanted. He never really was in love with Jared Goff, and that was kind of apparent to where they started that Wolford guy in the playoff, even though Goff was available to play. That kind of summed it all up. So yeah, I feel like Stafford's definitely going to be in for a big couple of years here, especially even fantasy wise. You're going to see the Rams offense like you did probably like 2 years ago when they took off. So yeah, and then like you said, Piggy, like they did what they had to do to get your quarterback, and that's the philosophy. Like if you want a guy, you go out and get him by any means necessary, especially at the quarterback position, which holds the most important weight on a football team. Like you are only as good as your quarterback. We're in a quarterback league, so that's what you got to do. So yeah, appreciate your thoughts on that. And then right before we start getting to Super Bowl talk, we're gonna talk about some LexCorp here, man. So all right, so LexCorp, Alex, he defeated me in the championship 170 to 156. I even had Alvin Kamara on Christmas Day, who came off with 6 touchdowns, and I still got defeated. And you want to know why? I'm about to show you why. I'm about to show you exactly why I took that L. So, second here, bam. All right, can you all see the screen?
Yep.
So just look at this roster, and Alex, you can just go right through it and talk about it, because I know your first pick was Patrick Mahomes, but after that, you definitely made this draft worthwhile.
Yeah, I knew I was going to take Patrick for my first pick. Usually in the PPR league, QBs don't necessarily drop first, so I knew I wanted to get him, and then I knew for my second pick that I wanted to get a running back, so I think I went Josh Jacobs, just because running backs kind of go quick, just because there's not a lot of full-time backs. And then I think I came back and I got it was either Rodgers or Kelsey. It might have been Kelsey. I think
you got Kelsey, because I don't think Kelsey would have fell any further than that.
I got Kelsey because I wanted to pair him with Mahomes. Then I came back, I think, and got Rodgers and then David Johnson. I got Diggs. It was really like a sleeper pick, really. I figured him going to Buffalo with that fresh start, him having the skill set that he had the year Josh Allen had the year before, that he would pretty much be close to like a 20-point per for me. So that was just kind of really how I tried to mold my draft, was with good players that I knew were going to at least get me close to a solid 20 points a game. So I figured that Mahomes would, Rodgers would, Stephon for sure, and then I had the keeper with DK, and then for sure. So it's a lot of firepower, I think.
That's an understatement, bro.
yeah, for sure. Just in terms of, I mean, when you look at the MVP race, if you want to throw, Josh Allen in there, obviously Aaron Rodgers won it, and then Mahomes was in the running. So I had, Josh Allen's number one receiver, and then I had pretty much Mahomes' number one receiver and Mahomes, Rodgers. DK in there. I mean, Russell was an MVP candidate for a while, and DK was his number one option. So it just boded well for me, man. It really was just a season where nobody got hurt. Like literally, this team that I drafted it finished for me. Like I don't think that's ever happened for me, with the exception of just like my defense. I think I swapped them out because Miami's defense started playing really exceptional, and then I swapped out my kickers just out of necessity. But that was pretty much my mindset going into the draft. I think it was like the first draft I really actually kind of like buckled down. I was like, all right, usually normally I join a little late or something, and I might not have it thought out all the way, but this year I really was able to. But it just kind of was one of those things. It was a COVID year. A lot of people got hit with that as far as players being in and out of lineup. So just pretty much a lot of the dominoes just fell my way.
No, it definitely did. You had based on what I see, 10 players, finished in the top 10 of their positions, fantasy-wise, 4 in the top 5. Kelsey, number 1 tight end. When I went against you, I think I was down 7 to 10 points entering Monday night's game or something like that. I had Josh Allen and Bass, the kicker for the Bills. You had Stephon Diggs, and I'm just sitting here like, all right, Josh Allen, do your thing. Just don't throw the ball to Stephon Diggs for touchdowns. And Lord and behold, he threw that man 3 touchdowns that night. And you over here, and we was texting each other, and you was nervous. I'm like, and then after that, then I saw the 3rd touchdown. Like, man, this dude's good. I'm going to bed. but nah. Regardless, man, congratulations. I got a trophy coming for you soon. Best believe you'll get a trophy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys like all kind of pretty much like hit on it. And Alex, you said the best thing that you can say possibly is like health. Like a lot of people's teams, like got hit with the injury bug bad due to COVID. I mean, this as far as like a year has going, man, for like injuries and things of that nature, man, we've seen more injuries this year than we ever have in like previous seasons. So for you to have that roster and like to have all those guys like finish out, man, like that was like this team honestly is something special. It's one of the best teams that I've ever saw, like assembled toward like the end of like the year. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I think finished, in like the top 3 for MVPs. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. You got Stephon Diggs, the number 1 wide receiver this year, leading the league in receiving yards and receptions. You got Travis Kelce. That's just, you guys know how I feel about Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? So it's just, you got to definitely tip your hat to you, man, and congrats. And you got to, give a shout out to Jamar as well, because if you didn't have so much firepower, he could have easily stole the show. So that was definitely a championship for like the ages right there.
Yeah, it was a heavyweight fight for sure. After that Camara game, I really just stopped.
I thought it was a wrap after that.
I did everything but send a congratulations text. But really, for me, the kind of unsung hero was David Johnson, just because I drafted him out of good faith. Because he normally gets hurt, and it's just like he did get hurt during the season, and I was able to compensate for that. But he came up big in the playoffs. He got 2 back-to-back 50-point games. I didn't really expect. So that was big for me.
Yeah, he was clutch for you. He did score twice in week 16. That was wild. Wow. But yeah, man, we got a trophy coming for you. So give me a little bit. We'll get it worked out. So, all right, enough of that bad memory for me. So, all right, let's get into it. So, Super Bowl 55. This is, in my opinion, is going to be a epic Super Bowl. Honestly, I haven't been excited for a Super Bowl like this in a long time. And so we got a Buccaneers fan, a Tom Brady fan there. Just really quick, I mean, what's your quick thoughts of this game, Piggy? Like your boys made it, wild card team, running on the road.
Hey, you know what, man? It's crazy though, because like when Tom Brady made that move, instantly I knew that we was gonna be a playoff team. But as going forward through the season, because it was kind of iffy, man. They was going through like COVID. Tom Brady had to basically break inside someone's house to try to get a playbook going, and it was a lot of stuff going on. So You know, I was kind of iffy about us going to the Super Bowl, but as things was going bad, they started gelling and clicking throughout the season. I'm like, you know what? At this year, man, Tom Brady gonna get another ring, and Gronkowski started clicking, because at first, Gronkowski had to get, involved in offense more. Gronk always been there, but he just had to get inside the offense more. And, Leonard Fournette started clicking. Of course, he had to learn the playbook as well as Antonio Brown. But once all them started clicking and offense started gaining more chemistry together, because people looked at us like, hey, this is automatically a Super Bowl team by looking at the players. They're like, oh, this is nothing but superstars on here and stuff like that. But, with teams involved, as you see with the Miami Heat and NBA, like even when you have stars on your team, it don't work like that. As they lost to the Mavericks, you gotta gain that chemistry first. So when they gained that chemistry, I was like, you know what? I'm throwing in Jamar, my brother Face. Hey, we're gonna get another ring. Get another ring. Hey man, you know what? And I was looking at this podcast, man. I was like, man, you know what? Deshaun, I got Deshaun talking about Travis Kelce is the best tight end, man. I was like, you know what? I can't watch this, man. All they doing is talking about my players. And you know what, man? It's been a crazy moment, man. Just looking back at it, man, and I always thought about it like, man, Tom Brady made it to the Super Bowl 50% of his career, man.
That's wild. That's wild.
It really is.
I'm looking at like, man, 50% of his career, man. That's crazy, man. I look back at it like, man, that is crazy.
That is. So, matter of fact, we got some couple of questions here until we get to the ultimate question. So, the first one here, we're gonna talk about, I guess, basically, who will benefit more from this Super Bowl win, Mahomes or Brady? We're gonna go down the line. Deshaun first, Alex, then Piggy, then I'll finish up. So go ahead, Deshaun.
All right. So in my opinion, look, so I'm gonna go with like the youth side of things here. We already know what Patrick Mahomes can do. Patrick Mahomes is, in my opinion, the face of like the NFL going like forward. The sun will set on Brady, but I'm gonna go with the most beneficial win with Brady here. Look, Brady has done just amazing things throughout his career, things that, in my opinion, no other quarterback probably will be able to do. But if it is a quarterback that's going to be able to do it, it's going to be the quarterback that's going to be playing up on the opposite side of the field here. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes if he's going to get close to Brady. If Brady wins here, if Brady wins today, dude, there shouldn't be nothing else to say who's the greatest quarterback of all time. Now, I get it. People say Montana still. If Brady wins today, he is the best football player, not the best quarterback. In my opinion, he will be the best football player to ever play football. So I think the more beneficial win, in my opinion, not taking anything away from Mahomes, he's young, and like they hold their whole core is young. So I think he got like a little bit more time to, like, this dude hasn't even like reached his peak just yet, and that's crazy to think with the things that he's done in his short career. But I'm gonna go with Brady with his age. The window is basically shut close on Brady. The more beneficial, I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
All right.
For me, I feel like it's Mahomes, in my opinion. Just because I feel like Brady's career at this is solidified. I feel like that if he retired today after this game would have lost, he would still be like, in my opinion, I don't feel like there's anybody who you can say that is had a better career than him when you stack it up. So I feel like just because in the sense that Mahomes is trying to get to where Brady ultimately is, it's just going to be, and then the fact that he would beat him, I feel like that would just compound in his career a little bit more as far as reaching that GOAT status. I kind of feel like it's that, like, I guess to compare it to something maybe like that 91 finals, like where Mike kind of took the reins from Magic's. It's kind of like his league now, like for Mahomes, in my opinion. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
All right.
You know what? Just to piggyback off what Deshaun said, it's definitely Mahomes. The biasness want me to say Brady, but it's definitely Mahomes. Like my brother, my Buccaneers brother said, Mahomes, he's still young. He's chasing Brady, and the thing about Brady, man, his career is already cemented, man. Even if he can lose like 3 more games and still be considered as the GOAT, and right now, Pat Mahomes is trying to get there, man. He's still a young guy, and just to get there to time what Tom Brady had, it's like a hard task to do. Hopefully my young brother can get there, but I don't know, man. It's tough, man. That's tough, man. Having 6 plus and like possibly 7 rings, man. That's a tough task, man. Everybody know with even how great Peyton Manning is, what kind of ring he only had 2 rings, and Big Ben 2, Eli Manning 2, Phillip Rivers none. All these is great quarterbacks. Drew Brees only 1. That just shows you how hard it is to get to 6 or 7, whatever rings that Tom Brady have, and just Tom Brady is already cemented. He's already good with legacy wise, but Mahomes, he's trying to get there, and I think him winning this ring right now with Mahomes, it puts him in a good place. Just say later on down the line he gained like more rings. They can say, hey, man, he beat Tom Brady and can possibly put him above Tom Brady. So this game right here is actually important for Pat Mahomes. But, just as well it is for Brady, like what Deshaun said, Brady is trying to, as a 43-year-old quarterback, Brady is trying to be solidified, like with no questions in doubt and nobody mad that Tom Brady wants to be the best football player to ever touch the football. So it's actually beneficial to both quarterbacks, but it's more beneficial to Pat Mahomes.
All right, so I'm going to side with the majority here. I am going to say it's Mahomes. I feel like, this win here, I think it's more personally, if Brady was to win, I think it's more personally for Brady, as in he wants to prove, doubters wrong, that he can go out with another team and still get it done. Because I know, knowing him, he has that chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove that and get that done just for his sake. But on the flip side, we got Mahomes here. The last time that we had a team that repeated as champion was New England, and that's about, 16, 17 years ago, 03, 04. And so that's how hard it is to repeat in football. And so with him being, I think, 24, 25 of age, and to get the second win in a very pass-heavy NFL-style game, that would definitely, put him in a trajectory to possibly be having the same conversation that we're having about Tom Brady this day and age in another 10 to 15 years. So I say Mahomes benefits more today for that win. If Brady wins, it's just, icing on the cake. And, just like Alex said, his legacy is already solidified, in my opinion. It's like, what more can you question from this man? Especially this season here. He went all the way to the Super Bowl with a new team, new offense. The only two players that he really know is Gronk and 1 week of Antonio Brown. So prior to coming into this year, so that's my opinion. Mahomes benefits a little bit more here. But we still got more talk about Brady, so we actually got some GOAT talk here, courtesy of Deshaun with this question. So, with a win, will Brady be considered the Michael Jordan of football? Same order.
All right, man. Like I said it before, so I was actually, perfectly segueing this from the last segment. So, yes, man, I'm gonna say without a doubt, if Brady wins today, Tom Brady will be the Michael Jordan of football. Now, granted, again, I'm not saying he is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan took a sport, made it global. People in China and Pakistan and New Zealand, wherever it may be, know the name Michael Jordan. It is just a worldwide name. Football is still up on a smaller scale. It is building up globally. But Tom Brady, in my opinion, if he wins today, he will be the Michael Jordan, in my opinion, of football.
In my opinion, I don't necessarily when I think of Michael Jordan, I equate him to being like his resume is unchallenged, and also like his skill set. Sometimes you have players that have a mixture, like they'll have the skill set, but they don't have the resume in terms of team success. So for me, I look at it like maybe like the Bill Russell in terms of career legacy wise, just because he obviously has talent and he obviously has the career accolades, but I don't necessarily, when I look at Tom, feel like he's the best quarterback in terms of just all around. There's quarterbacks that I feel like that might not necessarily like have been in a better situation than he was throughout the duration of his career in terms of general management, personnel, coaching. So I feel like he benefited a lot from that. He also was the benefactor of it, to where he was the X factor. He did a lot of those things, like late game drives, and he was solid. So for me, I feel like I can't say Jordan. I guess I'll just go with Bill.
That's fair. That's fair.
Hey, you know who I'm going with? I'm going with Jordan, man. He's gonna be the Jordan of football. And you know why, man? Like, listen, man. Like, we got LeBron James, then we got Michael Jordan. LeBron James is, of course, he's a more all-around gifted player than Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan, it's something in Michael Jordan that won't make LeBron James a greater player than him. Michael Jordan has that clutchness. He got that umph in him. And that's something that Tom Brady has. Like, Tom Brady has that umph in him. Like, Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes is all around better player than Tom Brady. But they don't have that clutchness in them like Tom Brady. They don't have that umph in them. Like, Tom Brady wants to win. The same thing that Michael Jordan has in him. So, you know what? He will definitely be in the same category as Michael Jordan of football. The thing about Michael Jordan, with Michael Jordan ahead, you know, he had that clutchness in him. And what made Tom Brady more greater is Tom Brady has those fourth quarter wins, those fourth quarter comebacks, that clutchness in him, man. You know, just to have him to get, you know what? Football is it's tougher to get a ring in football than it is in basketball.
Team
Because with
oriented.
basketball, you can have one player or two players, you know, take a whole team to the championship. You can grab two superstars on the team, and you can know that they're making it to the championship. With football, it's harder because you can't play both sides of the thing. So, you know, Tom Brady can't play wide receiver. He can't play offensive lineman. He can't play, you know, a defensive lineman or anything of sorts. So, you know, it's tougher to get a ring in football than it is in basketball. And for Tom Brady to get 6 or possibly 7 rings, like, he would definitely be in the conversation of Michael Jordan. And, you know, actually, I was talking to my brother Deshaun about it over the phone. And you know what, Deshaun, I was like, you know what? I feel like if Tom Brady get this ring, he could be possibly the Michael Jordan of football. And Deshaun was like, what? So I guess Deshaun made some thought about it. Because, you know, Deshaun is a big Michael Jordan fan, so Deshaun made some good thought about it. And I guess he coming to his senses just a little.
Oh, man. All right, so I'll say this. I feel like, yes, in a sense, not as what Michael Jordan is, but more so setting the bar like Michael Jordan. That's what I would say. Just like you alluded to, Piggy, it is extremely hard to win in football because just like in basketball, one player can have that much influence on the game. One player in basketball is playing both ends of the floor. Tom Brady playing a quarterback's position is the most important position on the field. But, you know, you got 11 guys total, and you're not playing defense. So you are relying on, you know, the other players to not, you know, mess up and stuff like that. You're relying on coaching to be effective. You're relying on a general manager putting the right people in place. You're relying on the owner to buy in on everything that they're trying to do. So it is a collective group effort in order to win. And for him to do it 6 times is incredible. To do it a 7th, that's beyond remarkable, especially in a new situation. This is, you know, anytime you step outside your comfort zone, you tend to grow, right? if you embrace the challenge, and that's anything in life. And look, he's in Tampa, about to host the Super Bowl in Tampa, first year. He gets it done. That is fairly remarkable. And Alex, I definitely get your point on as far as the skill set, because I feel like the couple of quarterbacks he was probably talking about is probably Aaron Rodgers without the resume, and probably Patrick Mahomes without the complete resume yet, as far as talent and just from a quarterback perspective, just flat out, just stellar. And so yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. And then on a side note here, we got our buddy Dwayne Hawkins saying good morning, my brother.
What's good, bro?
Yeah. So yeah, we just doing a little GOAT talk here. We about to get into our next subject. Let's see. All right. So speaking of Mahomes, Brady. So all right. So comparing the new legacy of Mahomes to the old legacy of Brady's, will Mahomes come close to Brady when it's all said and done?
Oh man, like this is like tough, in my opinion, considering that if it's crazy to think that if Patrick Mahomes, like if a catastrophic injury, God, forbid, were to happen to Patrick Mahomes, that he could legit be in a conversation for going to the Hall of Fame with the resume that he has already had. Like he's won an MVP, he's won a Super Bowl in his young career. He has, the Pro Bowl accolades. He has the, the passing. He's basically revolutionizing what football is. Like, I mean, how many people have you saw, fellas, like through a no-look pass in football? Like, come on, like that's some of the things that like this young guy is bringing to football. He's definitely like changing it. And I think a lot of guys, like we can even hit up on like the NFL draft. A lot of guys are going to be looking for the next Patrick Mahomes. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Everybody wants to have a quarterback like this. But comparing legacies here, will he be able to come close? I'm going to say yes. Whenever it's all said and done, if Patrick Mahomes is to win, let's say 4 or 5 Super Bowls, you know what I mean? Let's like take Sunday out the equation. Let's just say that just Sunday just doesn't exist. If he is to come close with 4 or 5 Super Bowls and they keep that nucleus intact, and by nucleus I mean the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean Travis Kelce, Andy Reid as head coach, Cheetah, all those guys there. These guys are still young, fellas. If they can keep this team and mojo going over the next, let's say 5 years, they will become the next in the NFL's next dynasty. The last dynasty we had was the Patriots dynasty. So these teams are very, very similar in DNA and makeup. You know what I mean? So, but the old legacy of Tom Brady, like you guys all mentioned, is cemented. Brady is one of the greatest of all time, no matter however you spin it. But in my opinion, will he be able to come close? I'm gonna say yeah, fellas.
That's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, barring major injury, obviously, I feel like he will come close to it. But I look at careers like Russell Wilson. Like the trajectory of his career early was pretty high because he got to a Super Bowl early. He wasn't necessarily a big part of it like Mahomes is now. And I think that's kind of what throws him into that GOAT conversation, or just in terms of what he might be able to do with his career. But yeah, I mean, just shortly answered, I feel like, yeah, he can. I mean, if he stays healthy, I don't see anybody in the AFC. I mean, there's a lot of quarterback pieces that are going to be moving soon, probably, but I don't really see too many teams, as long as they keep that continuity of the team that they have. And the way he structured his contract, it seems like it's player friendly. So, yeah, I think he can.
You know what? Man, it's tough to get. I can't see him getting close to it. I can see Pat Mahomes getting maybe about 3, possibly even 4. But man, you got to understand, like with teams like this, it's like it's hard to. You got to go with ego, which is contract negotiations. You have to keep that deep. Like Chiefs, they was built off of offense. And these kind of players like Travis Kelce, he's getting older. What is he, like 32?
31.
He have
But
to
yeah.
play with that kind of, offense like for about what, 8 years. But I can't see that team staying together that long. With a quarterback, a quarterback, they got longer, more longer span than like what a running back. They got about until 32, then they're done. Tight ends maybe about 32. Quarterbacks really got the longer span because of course this is a quarterback league and offensive linemen is here to protect quarterbacks, and with this, the era is going on, you can't really touch a quarterback. So of course he got the longevity in there, but Tom Brady only had one big major injury in his whole career. And with it, it's like hard for a quarterback because you do get hit. You do get hit, and one injury, even a minor injury towards your arm, your knee, it can change the whole aspect of everything. So it's all about injuries and contract negotiations. I really can't see him get into 6 rings, man. If you just think about it, like, man, it's a tough thing to do. But you know what? He's still young, and if you look back at it, when Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger won theirs early, and Russell Wilson, you was thinking like, you know what? They're not going to get any more. But like Deshaun said, they built a dynasty, and if Chiefs can, get that organization together, as you can see, they do have a great organization. If they can get it up there with the New England organization and build that, just build it up from the bottom into the top, they can possibly help Pat Mahomes get there. But I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry.
All right, and Dwayne's definitely making some I guess legitimate thoughts here. So definitely crown quarterbacks too early for the most part. When they have early success, I definitely get that. He also said the contract's gonna eat up salary. I'm gonna touch on that in a second when I go. He also mentioned, been having foot problems. I'll touch on that in a second as well. And basically, he's basically asking here, can Mahomes be, can he adjust, when things, when things change? Can when personnel moves around him, because it will, can things change? So, all right. So to answer the question directly, I'm gonna say yes, he can come close. All right. So as far as the salary, his contract, I mean, he is the $500 million man, but that contract is so team friendly. It allows them to build a team around him for years to come in that aspect. So, when Tyreek's contract, when it needs to be negotiated, or Travis Kelce or whomever, it will allow them to do so. Second thing is, they have those guys in place, but I feel like the way that they scout and draft, which, the resume speaks for itself, because look at the players they got there. They're all drafted. They haven't been traded. They didn't sign. They're all drafted. So apparently their scouting department is doing something right. So I feel like they will plug and play over the years. I mean, heck, they got CEH in the first round. Like, how did the Super Bowl defending champs get CEH in the first round of the draft? And we know what type of talent he was with that LSU team, because that LSU team had talent across the board that year. And so with that being said, like, going forward, I feel like they will always, be able to put talent around him. I mean, Travis Kelce's not going to be there forever. Tyreek Hill's not going to be in his prime forever, but they will plug and play. They will figure things out. I mean, 2 years ago when they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to your Tom Brady and Patriots at the time, I mean, the offense was still the same. The defense was garbage. And the main thing that the reason why we've been talking about them having a dynasty because they got their defense up. Their defense is playing a lot better. Their defense is underrated. Their defense don't get enough credit at all. So I feel like there's a lot of flexibility here. I feel like the culture of this organization is intact. They believe in Andy Reid. They believe in everything that they're doing here. They're taking care of their players. You never hear any complaints about this organization at all. So possibility, of course, is there. But I guess the only thing is that we got to worry about, and that's with anything in any sport, is health. That's the only thing. Because if everything stays constant, we will be having a discussion about Mahomes and Brady 10 years from now. Because that team is that dynamic and they got the right people in place to continue to make great moves to keep them relevant for years to come. That's my thing. And so appreciate that question, Deshaun, because that's a heck of a one. All right, so this one here, as we dive deeper into this game. So X factors or like key matchup, basically what is going to be the determining factor of this game? Because I mean, as we look at it, both of these teams are very similar in a sense. Their offenses are elite. Defenses are solid. I mean, it's basically going to come down to X's, O's, execution, and IQ. So basically, going down the line, like what's the X factor, your key matchup here in this game?
All right. So for me, to be completely honest, Jamar, okay, so we all watch football. We all seen this past matchup between these two teams, and who was the X factor in that game? It was Tyreek Hill. He set a career day as far as wide receivers go. I mean, he literally torched them from beginning to end in this football game. He torched them early, man, and they really didn't let up. So it's gonna be, as far as like X factors go, in my opinion, I think that the Buccaneers are gonna key in on that, right? They know that this guy beat them deep early and often throughout the duration of that football game. So what they're gonna do is try their best to contain him. So it's going to be those other key guys on this Chiefs team to whether they can get over the hump. So I'm going to get into X factors for both teams. So the X factor for the Chiefs, honestly, in my opinion, is going to be the Chiefs defense. How are you going to contain all of these wide receivers? Because they have a plethora of wide receivers and tight ends they can throw at you. Braid has been productive. Gronk has been productive. You know, we all know what Mike Evans can do. AB, huge. AB will be huge in this football game. Can that Kansas City defense stop, which they have been great? Jamar, you and I talked about it all season. That secondary is legit. It does not get enough credit. So, in my opinion, for Kansas City, the X factor will be that Kansas City defense. Can they be able to slow down that just amazing core of wide receivers that they have? So on the Buccaneers side, their X factor is going to be Antonio Brown. I'm going to say Antonio Brown because of the simple fact that, look, they have basically the best wide receiver of like the past decade. If he taps in to have that potential, gentlemen, like it's going to be a long night for that secondary. He's going to spread them out. I think Antonio Brown is going to be huge in this football game, or should be huge in this football game. So for me, X factor for Kansas City is going to be that defense, whether they can slow down that plethora of wide receivers that the Bucs have, and for the Bucs, it's definitely going to be Antonio Brown for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same mind with you on that. I feel like that whoever gets the most, whoever plays better defensively is going to ultimately be the team that wins. So I feel like for Tampa Bay, I saw Dwayne say that was my X factor. I feel like Shaq Barrett, he's going to play a major part if he can get Mahomes out of, just have him uncomfortable. And then I also feel like on the other side of the ball, I feel like Matthew, the Honey Badger, he's going to have a good game. And he's going to be an X factor as well, just being disruptive and getting players where they need to be. But yeah, to me, it's just ultimately going to come down to who comes up with the most stops and who takes advantage of them. So that, yeah, those are my picks as far as X factors for the game on either side.
For the Buccaneers, I think my X factor will have to be the cornerbacks. As you know, Carlton Davis got, charred, flame broiled, whatever you want to call it. That Tyreek Hill, what was it, 3 touchdowns? And man, for him to do something like that, and what is he had about what that in the first half?
Yeah.
As the game went bad, of course, Tyreek Hill did not see the end zone again. They zoned in on him more. Put 2 players on him more, so it was a 1-on-1 matchup with Tyreek Hill at the first half, and they showed you what they can do if they double team Tyreek Hill, as they didn't score again. And so I think for the Buccaneers side, the cornerbacks is definitely the X factor of this game. If they single cover Tyreek Hill again, this game will be over fast. And for the Buccaneers side, I'm going to have to go with Travis Kelce. As good Travis Kelce being this whole season, Travis Kelce did not see the end zone in that game. And we all know how hard it is to keep Travis Kelce out of the end zone, which he is the biggest red zone target. So for Travis Kelce didn't even see the end zone, that's kind of big and major on Buccaneers side. And if they get Travis Kelce, I want to say he had 80 yards. I can remember the game pretty good. He had 80 plus yards that game. I actually still had dreams about that game, but he had 80 plus yards. And that's of course that's real good, but it's all about getting inside the end zone. And Travis Kelce did not see the end zone, which is a good thing. But definitely Travis Kelce, and I agree with Dwayne. He said that Kelce is the X factor. Yes, I definitely see Kelce as the X factor for the Chiefs, and for the Buccaneers is definitely those cornerbacks. And if the cornerbacks does not play like they supposed to, I will cut the game off.
I appreciate your honesty on that one. All right, so for me, it comes down to one thing here, and that is the front 4 and front 7 of the Bucs going against the injured offensive line of the Chiefs. I think that for me is what this game comes down to. Because last year in the Super Bowl, we know Patrick Mahomes did not look he looked awful for 3.5 quarters. Looked completely trash. And that's because I think a lot of it had to do with the 49ers causing havoc in the front 4 and applying pressure to him. And so with the offensive line being banged up, I feel like this here can be very similar. And, if Patrick Mahomes was going against Tom Brady and the Bucs last year, in that situation, there's no way that Mahomes would be having a ring right now. So going against, JPP and Sue and the other defensive tackle, I can't think of his name, and Barrett and Devin White and them boys, like that can be something. I do know, Mahomes is good as anybody in the league to extend plays and be mobile and, throw receivers open and things of that nature. But, he's going to have to be special because of that. Due to the circumstance, he's going to have to be special for them to win. And for anybody that, that can be special, he's the best man for the job. So that's my opinion, that matchup right there. Everything else don't matter if he cannot throw the ball. So that's what I'm going with. And so I guess lastly, all right, guys, who wins Super Bowl 55 and with y'all picks, I need the reasons why, and I need your Super Bowl MVP, and I need scores. Let's go.
Whoo-wee. Oh, man.
So crunch time.
With all the good things that I've said about the Buccaneers, them having this like great team. First off, I want to say, like, isn't this like a dream Super Bowl for us that we get a chance to like see exactly what's going on? It's like whenever you pick up like let's say like my daughter picks up like Madden, or like Jamar, your son picks up Madden. They wanna play with Patrick Mahomes. They want to play with Tom Brady. Like there's like the two dream teams in which someone wants to play with on Madden. And we get a chance to see this game live, man. what a treat. So definitely is going to be one of the most memorable Super Bowls and within like the past 10 years, in my opinion. It's just good stuff written all over it. But there has to be a winner, right? So I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. The reason why I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna take what Piggy said. So I think that they're gonna key in on Tyreek Hill a little bit. He know that he basically dusted this secondary for just multiple scores and a bunch of yards and et cetera, et cetera. I think they're gonna do a lot to get Travis Kelce involved in this football game. In my opinion, Travis Kelce will find pay dirt twice in this football game. They do whatever they have to do. Like, I think like the last game that they played, like they did this nice little shovel pass to Travis Kelce, like 3 yards in from like I mean, it was just beautiful stuff. The way that they moved this guy around. You guys know how I feel about Travis Kelce, and I'm going to go ahead and give him the Super Bowl MVP as well in this football game. So, Chiefs win. Travis Kelce, Super Bowl MVP, 2 scores, 7 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I'm going to give the final score in this game. I'm going to say it's a bit of a shootout. I'm going to say 34-27 Chiefs.
Okay.
Damn.
It pains me to say I'm a living member in the AFC West. I'm a Broncos fan, so giving all this love to the Chiefs, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they can win. I think they're gonna win. I'm gonna go with a score of 28-24. I think that the reason they're gonna win, I feel like just they're gonna ultimately be able to move the ball. I feel like Andy Reid's gonna be able to dial up plays and kind of key in on some things. Like you said, they might try and overcompensate for Tyreek, and that's going to leave Kelce and a lot of other guys open. CEH is going to be in the game. There's just a lot of weapons I feel like that they're going to be able to take advantage of. And my MVP, it's going to be hard for Mahomes not to get it. I feel like even if Kelce, unless Mahomes throws a lot of picks or has fumbles or turnovers, I feel like if Kelce has a good game, it's going to ultimately go to Mahomes or anybody, whoever Tyreek Hill. So I would say if they win, it's probably going to end up going to Mahomes.
Listen, man, we all know who I'm going for. We all know who I'm going for. Yeah. And you know what? I got the score being kind of. It's going to be a close game, of course, man. Look who it is. It's young GOAT versus the old GOAT. So of course it's going to be a high scoring game. Look at the offenses surrounded by both teams. How can this even be a low scoring game? I got it 30-27. Both teams score early, then the game get kind of tight towards the end, of course. But I got the score being 30-27. Buccaneers. Tom Brady lead the game with game-winning drive. With this game going on, Tom Brady will have to lead this game with a game-winning drive because I see this game being very close, going down to the wire. Of course, I see Tom Brady being a Super Bowl MVP. Man, I feel like Skip Bayless on this. Tom Brady throwing 380 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Gronkowski I see Gronkowski getting about 60, 70 yards, but of course the offensive side, Antonio Brown, I see him getting about 80 yards in the touchdown. This is all about Antonio Brown gelling inside this offense. Antonio Brown didn't have those many opportunities against the Chiefs. I got to remind you that Antonio Brown didn't really play. He only had about 2 receptions for 11 yards. So Antonio Brown will be a big help to go against this team, but I definitely see the Buccaneers winning. This is not the same Buccaneers that played the Chiefs back when they played them in the regular season. This is definitely Tom Brady in playoff mode. And we all know how scary Tom Brady is in playoff mode. So I definitely see us winning and Tom Brady holding up the trophy, the MVP trophy, and the Lombardi trophy. And I will be rubbing it in y'all faces if I see y'all, my fellow Broncos and Bears and And Brady hater. He's just a Brady hater, man. Hey, plus, you know what, man? I got a lot of money on this game. And if I don't win this game, I probably will be sleeping at y'all house, probably.
Oh my god. Oh man. All right, so all right. You know what? Before I even get into it, shout out to Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell for actually making the Super Bowl. Two guys that's used to be near and dear to your heart, Deshaun.
Yep. Yep.
So at least one of them gonna win. All right, so shout out to Tom Brady. He had a phenomenal season. Shout out to Leonard Fournette. Ronald
this
Jones.
ain't going good.
Shout out to Mike Evans and Godwin. Hey, Deshaun, you named him as one of your top tandems for fantasy this year. Shout out to Antonio Brown for getting his head on straight and making the Super Bowl finally. Shout out to Gronk for coming back and doing his thing. Shout out to Sue for being in another Super Bowl and Devin White. I like Devin White a lot. Shout out to him as well. Shout out for the Super Bowl being hosted in Tampa at that stadium. Like that's wonderful. Like that's something we'll probably never see again. Vikings had a chance a couple of years ago. They fumbled that one. But I do have a Chiefs jersey here. Now granted, this is one of my personal favorite players in the last 15 years. It's my buddy Eric Berry.
Eric Berry.
That's one of my personal favorites, my favorite safety for a long time. And I'm so mad that he wasn't able to be on the team the last couple of years.
Hey, used to be a Priest Holmes fan too, right?
Oh yeah. Gosh. Yeah, until Sean Merriman ended that man's career, and let's not get into that. But no, here's the thing for me. Like the Chiefs offense is so elite to the fact that I feel like they're gonna constantly put up points one way or another. I mean, of course they're gonna double Tyreek Hill. If they don't, like you said, this game is over quickly, just like it was the first time around. So that's going to free up Travis Kelce. I feel like Travis Kelce is going to have a big game. I feel like McCole Hardman, like Dwayne mentioned, he's probably going to be a good X factor. Sammy Watkins, the forgotten man who, was drafted to be a number one wide receiver, who has number one wide receiver talent in this league. A lot of it just he hasn't panned out because of injuries for the most part, if anything. Got CH and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, it's just weapons galore. Tampa has an elite offense, but Tampa is vulnerable as well. I mean, 2 weeks ago, that man Tom Brady threw 3 picks in the third quarter, which I felt like any other year, any other Tom Brady, that game would have been over already. For whatever reason, forcing things downfield, got pressured on. As great as the offensive lineman is, you can apply pressure to Tom Brady. So I feel like the Buccaneers cannot make any mistakes. You give that ball to Patrick Mahomes multiple times, it's a wrap. And I feel like they don't have enough in the tank to keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs offense because the Kansas City Chiefs offense is that elite. I feel like if it's not going to be Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce is winning Super Bowl MVP. I got the Chiefs winning 37-27.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, regardless, I mean, we all agree this is going to be an epic game, right?
Yeah, man. Like I said before, dude. Like it's like a treat, and it's like whenever you start the video game, like the top 2 teams from each conference is, like we actually seeing that come into play today. I mean, you can't wish for a better roster upon both sides of football. 2 pretty good coaches. We all know what Andy Reid can do. It's just hopefully everybody gets a chance to, sit back and witness greatness up on both sides of the field because both will be filled with a bunch of great players. So, good Super Bowl.
Facts.
For sure.
Facts. I guess anybody else with any final thoughts here?
Oh man, like I mean, I just said it. Like my Steelers didn't do well. This guy right here. So like my Steelers didn't do well. So I am just a pure spectator of football at this point. Look, I just want to see it. I just want to see a good game. It really doesn't. I really don't care who wins this football game, just as long as it's like a good one, and as long as it's like not that Super Bowl of like the Patriots versus like the Rams. I'll be okay with that because like that was like the worst Super Bowl I ever watched. Like, period. I don't want to see that type of football. But I just think that it's just going to be a good game either way it goes, and everyone's in for a treat. And I'm gonna leave off on this. TJ Watt was robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year. Aaron Donald should not have won that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done. Alex.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good game too. I'm hoping it's like the Philly, New England. Just high-powered offense both ways. No defense. I want to see everybody run it up. Really a good game. To be honest, I really don't care who wins. I just want it to be a good, close, tight game. Last drive, tight game.
Oh, I care. I care, all right. I don't know about you suckers, but I care. Listen, man. Hey, I want to see Thanos get another ring, man. So, y'all know how much I like trolling on Facebook, and man, y'all definitely will see trolling throughout the game. If Tyreek Hill burn us, I'm deactivating my account, so y'all won't be able to reach me. But no, I definitely want to see a good game, man. I want to see Tom Brady get another ring, and I just do how much I do love Tom Brady, but I would like to see Pat Mahomes do something too. But I don't want to see him get a ring. But I would like to see it. Just a good game, man. Maybe when Tom Brady retire, I feel probably different towards Pat Mahomes. Maybe I would like to see him get another ring, man. But he got to wait till Tom Brady retire first. But like I said, man, I got money on this game, man. Of course, I got it on the Brady side, man. So hopefully it can go my way, man. But I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave out on this. Listen, Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end to ever touch the football.
Oh my gosh, he's delusional. He's delusional. Look,
and you know what? I thought Rob Gronkowski showed that last game when he had 100+ yards with to Travis Kelce, little 80 yards he had.
Last time I checked, man, Travis Kelce is leading the league in tight end yards, man. So look, we are watching the greatest tight end of all time. He'll just be wearing a Chiefs jersey.
And you know what though? I know the real reason why you really don't want to see Buccaneers. It's Antonio Brown, man. He left y'all team.
That ain't got nothing. Look. To be completely honest, I wish Antonio Brown the best. Like Jamar said, look, he finally got his head on straight. Like I was worried for the guy for a very long time. I thought it was like something like mental going on with him. And like that's like huge. Like I don't think that they speak enough on mental health these days and like how important it is. So man, look, I honestly cannot. If he wins, I'm gonna be cheering for him. Like that's it. No one else up on that roster. I'll definitely be cheering for Antonio Brown.
You ain't gonna cheer for Tom, man.
No. Hell no.
Y'all know that ain't happening.
That's not happening.
Oh man, I know you got money on the line, but I was saying this yesterday. So smart money is on the Chiefs, right? Because they only lost one real game this whole year, and that was against Las Vegas. So, I mean, if you bet on the Chiefs in every game this year, you probably made a nice little profit. So,
hey man, you know what? You gotta understand though, man. Not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but you gotta understand. That game that we played against them, they only won by a field goal. I want to say Tom Brady threw a pick, and it was a pretty close game. Antonio Brown did not play. So I look at it as will be a different game. Of course, you have to be mistake free against a high caliber team like with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I look at it as is this going to be a different game with Tyreek Hill getting 3 touchdowns, getting scored. We got scorched by them, and for us to only lose by three points, like that's actually amazing. And I look at it like this is going to be a different team.
But you also got to realize, like they went up 17-0 in the first quarter and they was up. But Kansas City has not, like, basically every win they let up on the gas, like every game for whatever reason. So I mean, it is gonna be a different game just all the way around. But I'm just saying, if you spot them 17 points again today, don't count on the comeback. They're not the Falcons. So
you have to go up on them. They really been kind of a lot of the games they really trail. They start slow and really kick into gear. So really last year in that whole playoff run, they were really down in most of the games.
No, they were. And I feel like, this time around, since they got last year out the way, probably was, nervous and butterflies and stuff like that. This time around, you would expect them to come out rolling on all cylinders, just ready to just go. So, I mean, regardless, it's gonna be pretty fun. All right, so before I sign off, because I got to run to the store and find some wings for today's game. Just so you all know, hey Deshaun, where they can find this podcast at, man?
Man, you can find this podcast basically every podcast streaming service like out there. Look, we on Spotify, we on like Apple, man. We're everywhere wherever you can be able to find podcasts. And we are streaming live right now on Facebook and on YouTube. So, man, if you like the content, check into our, YouTube channel, thumbs up, sub up, do all of that good stuff. And again, we appreciate the support throughout basically like this whole season. It's been great. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to my little bro Piggy for being basically the first guest that we had on here all season. I appreciate you two guys bringing your football intelligence. You know what I mean? And Piggy, your Tom Brady-esque ways to like the show is much appreciated. So and again, we appreciate everybody that's out there rocking with us right now. So
yeah, for real. And especially our guests, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube or whatnot, go ahead and hit that button for us after the show. Hit that share button. I appreciate that. But more importantly, thank you both. Thank you both for joining. This is our first time we had guests on here. You all are definitely welcome to come back anytime you want to. We will have a show next week, probably recapping what happened in here, any more news across the NFL, because we touched on it earlier. It's going to be a quarterback carousel of things to come throughout the offseason. We probably, by the time we come back, Carson Wentz probably be traded. Hopefully not to my team, but and we'll touch on that. And so thank you all once again. Hold on. All right, man. You can ask one question real quick, man. What you got? He's been on your bandwagon the whole time, Piggy.
He's another Tom Brady guy, man. Definitely another Tom Brady guy.
All right. So he said, why is it so easy for people to say LeBron the GOAT for his accomplishments, but people are hesitant to say Brady the GOAT for all his accomplishments?
So I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. All right. So in my opinion, Dwayne, is like, I think every one of you guys alluded to it, which I carelessly forgot to mention, but I'm quite sure it was all up on our minds, that football is a team-oriented sport. I think LeBron came out there with so much hype. I think it's a little bit easier for people to say that he was the GOAT. He was the chosen one since he was 14, 15 years old. He's been on the cover of ESPN magazines. I don't think no one else has lived up to the hype in which, they were, he definitely lived up to every expectation that he had. Again, Tom Brady, this slow kid coming out of Michigan with like a 5.7 combine, 40-yard dash or something like that. No one really believed that he was going to be the greatest quarterback of all time and things of that nature. Basketball is so like I think, Piggy, you said it. You can grab two all-stars and put them up on a team, and just like that, they are, conference finals bound, just like that. But football, it legit takes a team. It takes, Tom Brady cannot throw to just Tom Brady. Tom Brady can't rush the football. Tom Brady cannot play the defensive side of the football. So I can see why it's a little bit like they give like a little bit of an edge to LeBron as being one of the GOATs than it is to Tom Brady. But in my opinion, like both of these guys are just what they are. They are like greats, and like the comparisons again kind of more so need to stop. And I think we just need to sit back and witness greatness. We are witnessing the greatest quarterback of all time, honestly, and we're witnessing like what LeBron has been doing. And at some point, I would like the comparisons and like all the, inner things between both sports to just stop and just like, let's take a second and appreciate these guys while we still have them. LeBron 4-6 praises. Yeah.
Anybody else want to chime in?
You know what? The part of it is, man, people view Brady as like the villain. So of course nobody want to see the villain called the villain the GOAT. But I agree with Dwayne. Tom Brady do get shy away from being called the greatest player of all time. They do call him the greatest quarterback of all time, but they hesitant to call him the greatest player of all time. And just like Dwayne said, I'm gonna talk about what he said. Like they do call LeBron. I want to say it's because LeBron, maybe he's a more likable player than Tom Brady. I want to say that's something that he got to do, because it's the things that Tom Brady accomplished, man. It's hard to even say that he's not the greatest even player of all time, because with accomplishments, well, if we want to talk about accomplishments, it's like nowhere near close. A player had more accomplishments than Tom Brady, and it's hard to even get close to something like that. The only person that probably will is the player that he's going against now, and that's Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, but the thing about that is Piggy, is that it's just football, man. Like it's a 53-man roster. Basketball is what, 12 to 15 players up on like a basketball team, which 5-6 of those guys don't even see the court, and you got 5 starters with basically 3 all-stars per team or something like that. So I think it's a little bit tougher to compare the two sports. I just think that, in my opinion, I think it's just a bad comparison because of like the sports in which they play in respectively. So I mean, it's in my opinion, dude. I hate Tom Brady. I don't like him. And let me not use, hey, I don't like the guy or anything. Like I just dislike him because no one likes a player who wins all the time, and that's all he has done throughout his career is win. So it's not just I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't know him. But just like kind of like the Lakers when it was Kobe and Shaq, and everyone was up on Sacramento bandwagon that year, hoping that they actually, like won. So I just think it's just two different sports, kind of more so two different scenarios. I dislike Tom Brady, and I'm still sitting here calling him the GOAT. So you know how far that goes.
But has Dwayne even typed this fast, man?
I feel like it is a good comparison, I guess, in a way, regardless of the sport. I just feel like, for me, Tom Brady didn't necessarily have the same type of individual success that LeBron had early in his career. So that some people might kind of look at that and slight it a little bit in terms of a GOAT argument. Like I think he might not even have gotten the MVP until like his 9th year or something like that. So, LeBron, like you said, he came in as the chosen one. So those expectations were on his shoulder, and he kind of shouldered that weight of like it was all on him or nothing. Brady had a lot of consistent pieces around him, and then as he became who he was, he kind of forged himself into this dominant individual player. And then kind of got that individual like accolades of being the GOAT. So I feel like if he came out the gate and had like a career like how he's having now in terms of individual success, then for some people it would be maybe unquestioned. For me, it is. I don't see how someone can say he's not the GOAT, but that would be
professional text. That's fair. That's fair, Alex. Like straight up, Jamar, man. Like I seen you like your mind, like like working up there. I want to know what you gotta say about it.
No, Alex definitely hit the hit on one of my points, expectations. Like, LeBron came in, glamour before he even got in the league. Tom Brady was the 6th-round draft pick. We didn't know exactly what Tom Brady was until later on in his career. And then not to mention, any controversy that goes along with the New England Patriots along those years, that didn't help either. That's probably why he's not likable like LeBron. You don't have Spygate and Deflategate with LeBron.
You have the decision.
Yeah. and you also got him accusing of building super teams, but that's just like the era in basketball which we're in right now. So I mean, like you said, Jamar and Alex, man, dude, you guys hit like the nail right up on the head. To be able to shoulder that load, I said LeBron has been on Sports Center and on the cover of Slam magazine since he was 15, and to be able to shoulder that weight for his long, like, how old is he? 36 now. And he still, that's tough. That's tough to do. And I think that's the way that they're more alike than they're different, is in their longevity in their respective sports. So.
Yeah. And then that's the second point. The longevity, I think that's, and that kind of goes with what Alex was saying, the individual accolades. The longevity is with the winning is the reason why Brady is in this conversation right now. The longevity plus the winning, especially early on. So I guess that's my take on it. Because other than that, yeah, I definitely see his point. So,
man, all right, man. I'm surrounded by a bunch of Brady haters, man. It's still in y'all blood, man. Hey, you know what y'all do, man? Y'all sneaky, man. Y'all big up Tom Brady. Y'all slap him back to the ground, man.
Nah, I'm just being honest. Look, he stole a lot of Super Bowls away from my Steelers, man. So it is what it is.
What did he do to the Bears, man? He didn't do anything. We actually listen.
I don't have a beef. I don't have any beef with Brady.
The Broncos. Hey, y'all don't have a clue, man. Hey, you know what, man? Y'all still talking about Peyton Manning when he was in the league.
Oh man. But
hey, you know what, man? Hey, it's been a fun time being on here, though, man. I had some of the gear on maybe a couple days ago, and a lot of people have been asking, "Hey, where you get the hoodie from? Where you get the hoodie from, man?" And I definitely told them the website to get it from. So y'all had to give me some kind of endorsement deal or something going on.
Nah, we appreciate
y'all something free.
We appreciate the support, and we appreciate you rocking with us like big time, though. So.
We do. Actually, website's under construction right now because we got to have some new products coming in. So,
yep.
But definitely be on the lookout. You would know first. We gonna have some really top notch gear coming out. But yeah, no, appreciate you all support throughout the whole thing. I know you all been there since day one supporting. So it's definitely gratitude and appreciation there. So yeah, let me get out of here so I can get these wings because, man, yesterday I tried to go to the store. It was all sold out, so I'm going to have to go wing hunting this morning. But nevertheless, all right, y'all, for my brother Deshaun, for Alex, man, appreciate you. For Piggy, once again, appreciate you. Jamar, this Destination Fantasy Podcast. It'll be available soon. Spotify, Apple, we even on Pandora. Keep it moving.
Pandora.
And yeah, check us out next week. I guess.
Peace.